Come on, Kyle. Come on, Kyle. Catch the ball, Kyle. It hit you in the glove, Kyle. That can't happen, Kyle. You can't let that happen. Doesn't help you go 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts, too. We know you're not a good defender, but you're taking a dive forward when the ball's chest high. Why are you making it harder for yourself? Catch the damn baseball. There was also the play between him and Brandon Marsh out in left center field that got uglier than it needed to get. Dude. Now, we know he was always going to handle this as professionally as possible, say the right things afterwards. But it doesn't make it any easier when you're in a dogfight getting to Marte in the 10th. I don't really have a problem with how Rob managed getting to that point in the game. Aaron Nola, 6 scoreless. Gregory Soto does his job. Jose Alvarado, after a hit and a walk, does his job. Craig Kimbrell, easy money. So, you get to Marte. With the guy on second base, unfortunately, we live in a world where a ground out to the right side moves someone over to third with 1 out, and then a single scores a run. It sucks, but I can't get angry at him when the league placed a man on second for free and you have to work out of basically a leadoff double jam. That's problematic. The whole game would have changed if it was 1-0 instead of 5-0 when the Phillies were able to get to bat, but it did look like there was a little bit of something in that extra inning there for the Phils. My guess is they would have responded and tied it up 1-1. I'm aware that they did score, but I'm saying more along the lines of the game changes tremendously when it's 1-0 and it's tighter compared to the big blow-up. The home run, all that stuff, it doesn't really bother me because if someone catches a baseball, then you're not even down as big as you are. Marte did his job. You have to win these games. And you have a Mets team who sucks coming in next. And you set yourself up horribly to start this homestand after an excellent few series in a row. Where were you, JT? Where were you? Nick Castellanos? Where were you, Trey Turner? It wasn't just Kyle. The offense was dead. Kyle gets a huge part of the blame. Huge! I want to make that very clear. But how about the offense does something throughout the 0-0 action? Come on! Finally! Nola looks great. And he doesn't get any help. Here's a stat for you for Kyle Schwarber and his horrendous defense out in left field. This is according to Booney of NBC Sports Philly. Worst outfielders in defensive runs saved since opening day of 2022. Kyle Schwarber, minus 30, is the worst. Jesse Winker, minus 16. So Schwarber is 14 runs worse than any other outfielder in baseball over the last season and a half. Kyle Schwarber needs to catch a ball that hits him in the glove. He's horrible at defense, and the game plan by Dave Dombrowski was never to have him play as much as he plays. In a perfect world, Bryce Harper can take the field, and Kyle Schwarber was DHing. He's a bat. That's his role. That's what he gets paid to do. That's who he is. So unfortunately, he's got to play a lot more time on his feet. No one in their right mind decided he was worthy of this much time in the field. With that said, I have to hold him responsible for this specific one. There's going to be doubles in the gaps that happen because he can't move. He's a big man, a jolly fella, working around like he's a softball men's softball guy. Doug Heffernan from the King of Queens. That's what I'm envisioning. That's who I see. The little arm swing. He's hurting you. He's going up the bunt game 1 in this series. Why? Does it make any sense? There's no way in hell you should be wasting any pitches, putting the bat down and trying to manufacture a single. Manufacture a single, dude! Hit it out of the ballpark! We know you can. You're going to hit over 40 again. Which brings up a question about the Mets. Would you make a statement if you're Rob to bench Kyle Schwarber? I say no, because you don't have an alternative, and I desperately need as much possible offense, so I have to keep playing him. If you remember, in the beginning of the year, there were so many base running blunders. Bryson Stott got picked off rounding first base a little too much. Can't get back. He's out. It was atrocious. One of the worst things about the team's DNA. But Rob Thompson never made anyone accountable for it. He held nobody accountable. So because you set that precedent, Kyle Schwarber, the veteran, he's going to get the nod again. You don't really have many alternatives. Ty brought up benching him and putting in Pache because Kyle needs to know that we can't accept this. Well, if you let 5, 6, 7 other guys go without any sort of slap on the wrist or any sort of benching, Kyle Schwarber's not going to deserve it. Brandon Marsh was problematic on the bases. If those level of performers and Stott and Brandon Marsh and where they're at in their career gets all free, Kyle Schwarber's going to have to get off free. When you look at those 3. Twisting my words. But yeah, that's how bad they are. Or he is. Schwarber. 14 runs worse than any other outfielder over a year and a half. Here's more for you. With this offense. Trey Turner. This is mind-blowing to me. Trey Turner, 0 hit games. In 2022, he had 27 total. In the whole season, after accumulating all those at-bats and plate appearances, 27. This season, he's at 24. We're ending June. We're not even in July yet. JT, after a few home runs in a short amount of time, cooled off. He had a couple hits in the first game against the Braves. But I still need an insane JT run. And it's not as hot as it was when they were going through those series against the Dodgers, Arizona, Oakland. That run. Smoking pitches. I need that again. So what do you say? What do you say here? Starting pitchers in these 2 against Atlanta. Ranger Suarez, 1 earned run. Aaron Nola, no earned run. Against the Braves. Now, they were able to counter that with starting pitching of their own. Spencer Strider's no joke. Edler's no joke. What is a joke is how the Phillies handled the rain delay and the postponement. I feel bad. They tweet around 7:40 or so that the game's going to start at 7:15. 7:15 rolls around, and there's not another announcement until over 2.5 hours later. And you got everyone spending their money and spending a ton of cash on the concessions. I was told by someone there that the people who are selling concessions knew, and they were informed early, but made sure that they were able to get paid as much as humanly possible before they started to wrap up. They saw them putting some of the beers away, putting them in the fridge. They were aware. But we're also still making cash on the side, making sales. They'll do whatever it is to steal your money. And this team on the field will do whatever it is to steal your soul and to steal your happiness in life. I'm not proud right now. I'm not enjoying this. It was great what you did in Oakland. It was great how you answered the bell against the Diamondbacks, even after pissing away the first game with the stupid bullpen game where you had zero business of competing at all. You were set up to fail before the first pitch. So you could have had a 4-game sweep. But I'm all right, I'll live with the 3 of 4. It means less when this is how you back it up. I saw some Phillies fans trying to convince themselves that they weren't too far off. Ranger competed with Strider. You were in extra innings and you lost. The difference, though, is every time the Phillies did something poorly, it's almost as if the Braves know how to make it hurt. And the series was all controllables. Uncontrollables are different. The one noticeable uncontrollable, I guess, was Bryce Harper barreling up the baseball, 107 miles per hour off the bat. Thing was scorched, but it goes right to center field, so he is putting a dent into it. He's struggling against lefties, off-speed pitches. Off-speed pitches, it's nuts! He's never been through this version of adversity with that off-speed pitch. He's so fooled. I have to give him more of a leash. I'm sorry. But no human has been through the physical side of his recovery before. Is it actually the physical side? If he squared up the ball like he did today, doesn't that mean he can? He's just not? I don't know. That was probably the best cut I've seen in a while. There's been some decent ones. And with the wind, how about Cody Clemens in the first inning? He's keeping things where it needs to be. Or second inning. It was early in Nola's outing. You cannot, and I can't say this loud enough, and I speak loud, damn it, as you know. You cannot fall flat on your face against this Mets team. This Mets team sucks. They're terrible, but they own you. And I swear to God, if you do not win this series, I don't know how I'm going to be able to handle myself. I don't know how I'm going to be able to take you seriously. That's what's on the line this weekend. There's going to be all sorts of adversity with the weather. There's going to be rain. There might be a doubleheader or something pushed back to a later date. I can't imagine them right now when I look at the radar getting through all of these games cleanly. So maybe it's a game that's cut short, but you better be in the lead before it becomes a complete game, all right? Because if there's something that's going to allow you to get through 6, 7 innings, 8 innings, and they got to say, you know what, we're wrapping this thing up. The rain delay's too much. There doesn't seem to be any window where we can get it in. You better be winning by 1 run at the minimum. The Mets suck. What's on the line is my belief in any other series upcoming when you face the Mets this weekend. There's no way they're going to do this to us, right? I'm asking you. No. Not this squad. No, they could never do that. I can't believe Kyle Schwarber did that to us. I'm extremely disappointed and upset with him. He knows better. He's the vet of the crew. And for them to actually count that as a hit, which screws up Marte's ERA, they got to change that. No, the league has to review it and figure out how to perfectly apply this to the box score. It's not hard. I don't know why they're so soft on calling certain plays what they are. That's a play that's made 99 out of 100 times. 999 out of 1,000 times. 99,999 times out of 100,000. 900,999 times. 9 out of a million. 9 out of a million. 999 out of 1,000. Man, I'm so angry. It's making me madder. I thought this would actually help. Sometimes I view this as therapy. I need 30 minutes. Yo, babe, relax. Go grab the dogs. Go put something on TV. Maybe it's the Kardashians. No, don't do that. You got to wait for me to finish. Huge Kardashian guy. When you throw something else on, I don't know, Succession. I need 30 minutes in the studio to get out my frustration so I can breathe. It helps me relax. Then once in a blue moon, this happens. Something that's so hard to even fathom. It's indefensible! That as I constantly replay it in my head, as I scream at the top of my lungs, it pisses me off more. Welcome to my life. I don't know how to respond to this, but I'm in pain today. Man, it's no joke. This team. Always something. I'm not blaming Rob, though. We actually took some calls post-game of people leaving the stadium really angry with Rob. Why Marte? Why not? He did nothing wrong bullpen-wise. Soto's supposed to be in the 7th. Jose's supposed to be in the 8th. Craig's supposed to be in the 9th. At that point, you start utilizing some bullpen. Marte is a reasonable name. You could have went to a different name. He's not the only one I would have accepted, but that is a fine spot. The only thing I would say is Brandon Marsh, and I don't even believe that this is the difference in the game, but Brandon Marsh got pinch hit for after having 2 hits. He's got 5 hits this series. As soon as they lit a fire under his ass by saying that Pache has a chance to compete for that starting center field job, and it's going to be more of the worst P word you can hear in all of baseball if you're a position player is platoon, because you're going to lose ABs and you're going to lose time. But maybe the Phillies said that perfectly timed with acknowledgement on some of the starters they were seeing soon, knowing that Brandon Marsh would be in this lineup. Yo, Marshy, you heard what we had to say. Do something about it. 5 hits against the Braves. And they go, Pache, here you go here. Pache's not that. No way he deserves that level of respect, even after a few nice doubles, a few things here and there. All right, this should be interesting. Anytime hotline, kicking things off, the Phillies hate us. Let's do it.
Rhodes, it's Thursday afternoon. The Phillies are 1 out away from getting swept by the Braves, and guess what? Your boy is the culprit. My 9-year-old who plays in Little League can make that catch in left field. He's pathetic. Pathetic. I cannot believe that this team beat the Braves last year in the playoffs. How's that even possible? And let me tell you something. Your boy at the top of the lineup, 0 for 4 with 3 Ks and a Little League error in left field. And to quote you, I'd rather have Bryson Stott bat and leadoff. It's not even close. It's not even close. It's not even close. It's not even close. Fatty McGee. See ya.
You're right. It's not close. Kyle Schwarber deserves a bat leadoff, and he's hitting, under 100 points less than Bryson Stott, and they basically have the same OBP? I'm just saying. One guy is hitting close to 300. The other guy is hitting about 180. And they're basically flirting with the same on-base percentage. Yeah, it's not even close. It's not even close. It's not even close. Kyle Schwarber is the bigger threat with the bat in his hands. I could look through box scores and see nights where Bryson Stott has over. You really want to go through this, where we study both guys' logs? Kyle Schwarber, not too long ago, had 2 home runs in a game. He was your offense, and he helped you win. Not too long ago, he started 2 games in a 3-game set with a leadoff home run and put your team up 1-0 before your pitcher even touched the mound. He sucked today. What you stated in the beginning is absolutely true. It is pathetic. A 9-year-old playing Little League should be able to make that play. Kyle Schwarber, blindfolded, should make that catch. I'm not defending that. That is horrible. What I'm not going to do is take his entire career and base it around him not being a good left fielder. He's not a good left fielder. No. That can't happen, what we just saw. Kyle Schwarber's not a good left fielder. His job is to hit a bunch of home runs. He's going to hit over 40 again. It doesn't mean today is accepted. You don't have an option. You don't. Unless you take him or Bryce Harper out of the lineup, you do not have an option. You have to tread water until Bryce Harper can get into the field. Unless you think Pat Shea and his defense is worth taking someone else's bat out of the order, which it's not. So I don't know how they clean it up. They just have to hope and pray that the ball doesn't go in that gap and doesn't go towards the foul line and stays away from left center all the way to left field as much as humanly possible. But until Bryce Harper can play first base, this is what I think you're stuck with. And I think you would be hurting this team's chances, especially against the Mets, if you wanted to do anything differently because of what we saw this afternoon. Any other team, if this was the Marlins, no, not the Marlins, sorry, the Marlins are actually doing something solid this year. If this was the Mariners, let's say this is the Kansas City Royals, if you wanted to try, even though that's not Rob Thompson's way of going about business, but if you wanted to do some, let people know that we have to respond to this somehow. We can't just let that go unnoticed, even though it is Kyle Schwarber who said all the right things publicly. I could live with it more, even though I still probably wouldn't do it. It's the Mets. Put your best lineup out there. And Kyle Schwarber is a part of your best order. So both things can be true. You want to spend the next 3 days losing your mind over Schwarbs and what he misplayed? You have every right to. There's not a soul who loves Kyle Schwarber who thinks what occurred is acceptable. At the same time, he's going to hit over 40 home runs again, and his OBP is strong for what it's worth. He's top 4 or so in OBP on the team with one of the worst batting averages by a long shot. There's still value in that. Both's true. We don't have to go to the extreme where he no longer deserves action, which is what that caller sounded like. So yeah, it's not even close. Not even close, not even close, not even close. What's next?
Well, just great. Absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. We burned through 2 magnificent starts from Suarez and Nola. Nola, of all people, we burned through a good start of his by having an offense that was practically asleep and a bullpen that I guess was also asleep. This was just absolutely devastating. It was heartbreaking. The Phillies have been so hot in recent times. Coming up against the Braves, you think we'd want to show something, but sure enough, we didn't show up. I don't know where the team we were supposed to be was. Hopefully we can do better against the Mets, but that was awful. That was just awful.
Hopefully. Is there any recent success that should make you feel great going into it? We're sick in the head. Yes, we are. And we're going to put ourselves through the torture. You mentioned the starting pitching. You got what you asked for. I would feel differently if all they saw were disaster teams over the last 6 series. Nationals, Tigers, not good. Dodgers, Arizona, pretty good. Look at that NL West. Look at how competitive it is. The Oakland A's, not good, but they were hot when you saw them. Maybe their time was due, and it was only a matter of time until they started to fail again. Probably. But if there was any time that the A's could beat you up, and could have something to say about it, it would be when they were constantly winning and playing their best ball. So you shut them hard and big time hard. You took all three. It wasn't just you won the series 2 or 3, let's get to the next one. You snagged them all. My point is, it wasn't the bottom feeders through many, many series. It wasn't that way. So seeing the Braves, the way Arizona plays, who the Dodgers are, no matter what version of the Dodgers it is, the Dodgers on a weaker time is still better than, 75% of the league? If they're battling injuries, if they're dealing with some slow stretches, if they're dealing with just cold streaks, it's still a talented lineup won through their entire roster. They were flirted in that too. So it's not, finally you see a good team and then the true colors show. You see an elevated team. You see a team that is by far better than the Phillies, and they're up by a large margin in the division. To think that you're so far out of reach before it's July is killing me. And last year's run, sneaking into a third wild card spot, beating the Cardinals in such a nuts way, that won't make it easier for me through the rest of this journey. I want to compete for a division! I don't want to have my mind worried about the NL West, and where are the Dodgers, where are the D-backs, where are the San Francisco Giants? The Central stinks, even though good for the Reds. Holy hell. The Reds taking it by storm. The Reds. Phillies can't catch a ball in left field. Holy hell. That's what we're really talking about here. Making a standard generic baseball catch in left field. No, instead, I'm going to lunge my body forward and tumble 5 feet and have the ball hit me right where it needs to hit me, and I still don't come up with it. You could see the whole team deflate. We're done. We're toast. We're screwed. And I don't even blame them. You don't want a team to die until it's absolutely over, until there's no breath left. But I'm sorry. If I was to see that, dude, you got to be shitting me. That sums it up. That's who we've been. JT runs himself out of an inning when Bryson Stott, a close to 300 hitter, was up after him. First and third. Bryson Stott, nope, we'll run out of this inning because that's what we do. Let guys take advantage. That's what we do. We make it harder for ourselves 90% of the time. That's what we do. And that's why you're 10 games back. Sucks.
Hey, bros. First off, want to say congrats on the kid on the way. Super happy for you. Second off, I cannot fucking stand Kyle Schwarber. I don't care how good he's hitting. He's not even hitting that good right now, to be honest. Compared to most of his dudes, he's not hitting that fucking good. But I cannot stand how bad he is in the outfield. He completely blew this game. Completely screwed off Junior, whatever the hell it is. Completely screwed him over. I just can't. I can't deal with him. I mean, he cannot become the DH fast enough. It's just fucking miserable to watch. Have a good one.
Well, I appreciate the kind words on the fatherhood thing. I'm excited. I literally cannot wait. Kyle Schwarber, I don't hate him. I'm actually a huge fan of Kyle Schwarber. This is just awful. I don't have any other words to describe it. I don't know really what else to say other than Kyle Schwarber cannot let this continue. He needs to wake up, catch the baseball. I don't hate him, though. He needs to be 9,000 times the left fielder he's been until Bryce Harper can play first base. And then that opens up the flexibility. So after the All-Star break. But there's a lot of games from now until then. And they matter when you're falling behind this aggressively. So let's see how they respond against the Mets. Have I mentioned this before? The Mets own you. This should be great. This should be a dandy. Who's ready? Thank you guys all so much. I will catch you all on the next show.